So I first applied for the tour because I'd heard such good things about it from people who'd gone in the past. It sounded like something that would be really rewarding. And also I'm really interested in the public service and I'm really interested in how policy works. So it seemed like the ideal opportunity and sort of time to go to Canberra and see how sort of the inner workings happen.
So for me, I guess it was a little bit different coming at from a biomedical science background. I was really interested in health policy and sort of looking at how what I've learned so far in the theory aspect inside of it, how that actually is put to practice. And I thought that the budget tour would be a great experience to sort of facilitate that and sort of compare both sides of the story and see how you can deliver effective health policy and sort of what are the arms of government and other areas that are used to sort of deliver that. So I guess I'm sure we've got different aspects that we got out of the tour, but in particular for me personally, I guess, the sort of the experience of going to the TGA with Jack McEwen and sort of getting a specialised look at how that works really related to my area, I guess, of what I'm interested in. So that was great to witness that, and probably also the budget reply speech, I reckon. It was a great experience to sort of contrast between the official budget being delivered and then witness the reply speech and sort of see the massive differences, the sort of like the toing and froing and I guess the banter between both sides of politics. So it was a really eye-opening experience.
Yeah, for me, I think the budget tour sort of really gave me what I wanted to get out of it. I wanted to see the different sort of sides of policy, and that's exactly what I got. We got to meet people sort of involved in all different stages of building policy and building the budget, and so that gave me really good perspective. And I think it also sort of sparked my interest in working in Canberra a bit more. It sort of got me a little bit more looking forward to grad jobs and sort of thinking about, having a job in Canberra or something. And I'd lived in Canberra when I was younger, but I'd never seen these sides of the city, so that was a really good thing to get out of it too.
I guess my highlight of the tour was probably two things that really stood out. Going to the budget reply speech, that was an interesting experience. It was completely different to sort of like the actual budget speech. Just seeing a lot of diehard Labor supporters come in and support the reply speech, and sort of the toing and froing between both sides of the House was really interesting. So that was completely unexpected and very interesting to watch. And the second one would probably be the TGA, so the Therapeutic Goods Administration, which Jack McEwen very kindly took me around and gave me an insight how to they operate and what their policy is and some of the ideas of that. So yeah, that was probably my highlights.
For me, I think the highlights were I got to sit down for coffee with Zoe Cameron, and she sort of chatted to me about working in the public service and her background, and she was actually a graduate in defence, which is sort of a really good place to start, and she gave me a really good perspective, especially about being a woman working in the public service and in sort of defence areas, which was really interesting. And also my other highlight was getting to know my host family with Ral and Helen. Staying with them was really lovely, and hopefully I'll get to see them again.
Obviously, there's a lot of people we'd like to thank because we know how much effort has been put into putting this successful budget tour trip on, and we know that there's a lot of people who've done this. So with particular thanks to Jack McEwen for taking me around to the Therapeutic Goods Administration. It was great to experience that and sort of look at the inside operations of it, and also a very kind gift that you gave me of your book about the history of the TGA. It was a very nice surprise coming down to Ormond reception, noticing that there was a parcel for me from you, which was really great. So very much thank you for that. Obviously, we'd like to thank Paul Tilley, who gave us an insight to what it's like to brief a minister. It's obviously an experience that not many people get to witness, and we're very grateful for that, and also giving us an understanding where we didn't quite understand the treasury aspect of the budget, which was really a great thing you gave us. Also, a big particular thank you to Andrew and Celine, who gave me a place to stay while in Canberra and a place to eat as well, but also the great stories about your time at Ormond and sort of comparing what the difference was and the similarities. It was great to get to know you, and it'd be next time in Canberra I'd love to catch up again.
Yeah, I think a huge thanks is in order for all the alumni that we got to meet throughout the week and who sort of invited us along to see their perspective of what they do. It's always really nice catching up with Ormondians that sort of are in a different part of their lives, but also sort of seeing how Ormond has helped them get them there. It's really exciting. I'd also like to thank Matt, who shared his time with us. He came down from Sydney. It was really, again, another nice person to meet and to sort of share our time with. And of course, I'd love to thank my hosts, Raoul and Helen, for having me in their house for the week. It was such an enjoyable week staying with them, and I'd really love to see them sometime soon. And of course, we have to thank Phil Bell, who did so much to get the tour happening and who did all the organisation and took us everywhere. It's a huge amount of work that he puts in, but it's so much fun spending time with him, and he did so much work, so thank you, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, thank you so much for, obviously, as Felicity said, putting in the time and effort. It was a great experience also to get to know you and sort of let us experience what Canberra's like and looking at sort of the inner workings. We know it can't have been easy while also you had family commitments to look after as well. So we really appreciate that, and also I'm sorry, but I still have the rope dancer book, so I've almost finished it, so I will send that in the post ASAP, so you'll be getting another present from me, I guess. But a big thank you, yes, once again, Phil.